Peace, family. Chauncey, aka you Karima, GMOGmedia, back at you once again with another GMOGmedia Spotlight. I know it's been a long time since the last video, but I'm back at you again. I got a real good topic, heavy topic, so-called controversial topic I want to talk about today in this particular video. All right, so before I start, I want to basically say a disclaimer. All right, before I start, so I want to start off by saying this: we live in a system of white supremacy. Okay, for those who do not know what white supremacy is, I'm going to break this down. Just a simple disclaimer. Okay, if you don't know what racism, which is white supremacy, is, what it is, and how it works, everything else that you think you know will only confuse you. All right, so before I go any further, for those who are not familiar with white supremacy, how it works, I suggest you to stop the video right now, do some research, pick up some literature by Neely Fuller and also Dr. Francis Krauss Wilson. All right, once you do that, get right back to me, and then this video will make more sense to you, and you will have a clear understanding of what I'm talking about. Okay, so, all right, so I want to break this down. This video, I want to talk about the N-word. The N-word used in hip-hop by white supremacists. The N-word, which is nigga, N-I-G-G-A, which is used, it seems to be used by anybody in hip-hop, whether you are classified as white or classified as non-white. You can use the word freely. That's basically what it is right now in today's society. Me personally, is unacceptable. I don't use that word. I don't use that word in my vocabulary, but it's used freely within the hip-hop, and it seems to be the excuse nowadays to use that word freely. Yeah, I listen to, especially when you're classified as white, people like to use that word and say, hey, but people in hip-hop, rappers say that, so I can say it too. So I'm going to break all that stuff down and talk about these white supremacists who use these words and the people who control the industry. Like I said, you know, we live in a system of white supremacy, and they control all 9 areas of activity. Okay, and those areas of activity are economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. All right, all 9 areas they control of those activities, and these are straight facts. And like I said, with this channel, I present to you facts and logic. I don't deal with emotions, so I don't get on emotional rants at all. I just only deal with facts and logic. So everything I say is backed up by facts, and you can look it up yourself. And I will also have this information in the description as far as the sources that I use to talk about this particular topic. So I'm going to break down the word nigga and the origins of this word and where it came from. Okay, so let's talk about the N-word, nigga. Okay, and I'm gonna break this down as far as where it came from and where it started. So since I became and got into the knowledge, and I don't like to use the word conscious, but I like to say awaken, as far as knowing the history of where I came from, where civilization started, which is Africa. You know, I'm a researcher, so I do a lot of research, and I find information and I obtain it, I absorb it, and I retain it, you know, and that's what I do. All right. So the N-word obviously goes back to Africa. It actually starts back in the Nile Valley during ancient Kamene, which you know as Egypt. Okay. So the N-word, we refer to ourselves as kings and queens. Okay, back in the day. All right. You go to the first dynasty, all right, around ancient Kemet or Kemetic times. We refer to ourselves as Netgar. N-E-T-G-E-R, Nedger, or N-G-R. Okay, so the word Nedger as a representation of the sun god. Okay, all right. So for those of you who are actually getting into African history, or just basically studying and trying to get into basically knowing Nile Valley consciousness as African history as a whole, Nisut is actually Pharaoh. All right, but Pharaoh is a misnomer. You should not use that term because that's actually a Hebrew term. So, and then Nisut is a neuter noun, so it's not gender specific. It can be male or female. But a Nisut, or actually pronounced Nisut, all right, is actually short for Nisut Biti, and it's Kemetic for the one in authority. All right, it could be high priest, also, or emperor, but it refers to upper and lower Kemet, and it refers to the highest of the rulers during that time. So that's what you want to refer to. Don't say Pharaoh, say Nisut, which is short for Nisut Biti. Those are the proper Kemetic terms that you want to use. All right, so anyhow, that's how they describe those Nisuts as Nedger. Okay, that's how they describe the way they look, because they were representations of the sun, or the sun god at that time. Okay. Now it sprawled on to many different variations of that word. So you had a Semitic language, okay, from Ethiopia. You had a Semitic language from Ethiopia called Amharic, which is Amharc. Okay, so you had languages sprawled from there that had words that came from Nedger, such as Negus. That's an Ethiopian term for Ethiopian king. You had Nigist, which describes an Ethiopian queen. And as I mentioned, Nisut, or Nisut Biti. Okay. And the list goes on. I'll leave the links in the description as far as what you can do in this study, but that's basically the origin of the N-word. So we will refer to, like I said, we refer to ourselves very highly. You know, kings, queens, emperors, rulers, high priests, things of that nature. So we refer to ourselves as royalty during that time. This is way before, and I'm going to get to this in a minute, way before any outsiders, any white supremacists came into our land and invaded us. Okay, and basically corrupted the words, corrupted our language, stole our history, stole our everything, corrupted everything that we had. And that was basically the end of the Kemetic dynasties and the basically the end of rulership of Africa during that time when the Romans came in and invaded everything. But those are the basic foundations of where the N-word came from, and it evolved from calling ourselves kings and queens to what we refer to ourselves today, which is Nigga. Okay, but before Nigga there was Nigger, right? Nigger, which is nigger. Okay, so I'm jumping ahead with timelines here, but I'm trying to make a point. So when you go to Nigger, right, during that time, that's when the white supremacists came over in their slave ships, got our ancestors, and began the slave trade. Okay, and they refer to us as nigger, meaning subhuman. Is a derogatory racial slur, racial epithet that demeans a group of people based off color. Okay, so that's basically the context of the word nigger. And then us black people, us melanated people, we flip that term and we use that term as a term of endearment, right? Nigga. And you already know the many terms that you can greet your you could greet your fellow brother or sister or whatever and just say, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's how you refer to someone during that time when that word was actually evolving from nigger to nigga, right? So I'm going to go back into the timeline again. All right. Going back to the time that the Romans invaded Egypt, or Kemet. When they came in and invaded ancient Kemet, they saw that we referred to ourselves as Nedgar, referring to how we looked, referring to us, as very, as high priests, as kings and queens and things of that nature. So they took that word and corrupted it. And like I said, that was the end of our civilization, our dynasty as we know it. So they corrupted that word and it evolved from there with many, many different variations until you see it today. Okay. One other thing I want to talk about also is another misnomer, right? So, the white supremacists, they like to say, and, there's many websites out there that, very racist websites that keep track of what black people do on a daily basis. You got chipmania.com, Stormfront, the list goes on. So many white supremacist websites that keep track of what we do, whether it's negative or positive, and they, flip it and, keep tabs on what we do on a day-to-day basis. They love to refer to black people as monkeys, right? But that's a misnomer. The true monkeys or the true Neanderthals are the Caucasians. So if you look up the word, it's a word called troglodyte nigger, okay, Niger, which is a scientific term meaning cave dweller. All right. It's also referring to primates or monkeys. Basically, so troglodyte nigger is what the European scientists discovered remaining animals, or remaining fossils rather, in European caves. And these primates actually migrated down to Africa as well, but they started off in European caves. And you can look up all this information. Like I said, I just present facts. You can look up all this information. I have the links in the description. And if you want to know where I'm referencing this from, I'm referencing this from a book called The Naturalist Library. And you can read this online right now for free. Just Google The Naturalist Library by Sir William Jardine Bart. And it has a very nice picture, which you see right now, of a primate, the scientific term for cave dweller, which is troglodyte nigger. Okay, so we know the Europeans are the true niggers because that's actually what they call themselves scientifically. So anyhow, as I said, we live in a system of white supremacy, so they can make up definitions for words anytime they please, as they see fit. So when they invaded our land in ancient Kemet, and they discovered what we did in our civilization, and they took it, they flipped it, and turned a positive into a negative, and corrupted our society. That's what they do, and they continue to do it till this day. All right, so fast forward to today, 2015. So, today in hip hop, we use the term nigga, and I shouldn't say we exclusively for blacks, but it's used by everybody now. Anybody who is classified as white can use the term, and anybody in hip hop who is classified as black will be okay with that because they don't know the knowledge of themselves. And like I said, me personally, I don't use that word. It's not in my vocabulary, but I'm here to basically illustrate and demonstrate a point. And hopefully you actually can get enlightened and learn from this and do more research on your own. But anyway, so hip hop has been the scapegoat for using this word nigga. Okay. As you know, nigger is the racial epithet, the racial slur that describes a group of people. But every racial group has a racial slur or racial epithet that describes themselves. You have Italians, you have the Jews, you have Canadians, you have Irish, You have Japanese, Koreans, the list goes on. Every one of those groups have racial slurs that only applies to them, right? But you don't see any rappers saying, anti-Semitic words in lyrics, right? Because that'll never happen. If any word of any anti-Semitic vocabulary comes out of someone's mouth as a rapper, it will be shut down. You've seen the movie Straight Outta Compton. You saw what happened with Ice Cube, and he was talking about Jerry Heller and mentioned Jews and things of that nature, and etc. You saw how Jerry Heller was just flipping out. The actual actor who played Jerry Heller, you saw how he flipped out. It was he just shut it down immediately. He tried to shut it down immediately. So we don't have that kind of action as far as our own word. It has been corrupted to the point where it's no longer a term of endearment, it's a term of corruption right now. Whether you call yourself nigga or nigger, both of them are terms of corruption. That's what it comes down to today. So the word has no value whatsoever right now. All right. So if you want to go back into ancient Kemetic times and refer to yourself as negus or nedger or nigist, that's fine. Okay, that's where it all came from. But the nigger or nigga, no. I would never use those words. They shouldn't be used at all in anybody's vocabulary whatsoever. Okay, that's just my opinion, and that's what should be enlisted in the code of conduct for black people. And that's another thing. We don't have a code of conduct we need to establish for ourselves. Basically a code of conduct is a list of things you do and a list of things you don't do. A list of things that you say and a list of things that you don't say. That's what we need to establish in today's society in overcoming the system of white supremacy with a system of justice. All right. So going back to what I was saying about hip hop and going back to the topic at hand. So as we know, the white supremacists, who not only run hip hop but become a part of the hip hop culture, they started using the word nigga, all right, in the early 90s. It's a group called Young Black Teenagers. You heard it right, young black teenagers, but none of the members were black. They were white. And guess who co-signed that group? None other than legendary group Public Enemy. The Fight the Power Public Enemy. All right. They co-signed that group, the name of that group, and the group using the word nigga. All right. I'm going to play a little clip of an interview that happened in the early 90s with this group, Young Black Teenagers. This is a little snippet and how and what they were using the word nigga for.
This is the Young Black Teenagers. My brother Cameron.
What's up, man?
What's up? Introduce yourselves,
Tommy
man.
Neville.
Yo, I'm Crush.
Firstborn.
Finally.
ATA.
What's up?
TJ Script.
Cool. Nice meeting you. So, how did you guys... come on. The Young Black Teenagers?
Young Black Teenagers.
Now, you know I wasn't expecting that. Like, when I saw, the video and all, and I'm like, yo, these guys are white. And they call themselves the Young Black Teenagers.
Well, white, you know what I'm saying? You look at the word white, that's a touchy word to go on.
Okay, why is that?
First of all, you know what I'm saying? Society does people as black and white. They dub Caucasians as white and African Americans as black. Well, let's look at black and white. You know what I'm saying? This is black. You know what I'm saying? This is white. I've never seen anybody's skin color who matches black and white. You know what I'm saying?
Neither have I.
Blackness to me is more of a cultural thing, a state of awareness, a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? Depends on how you interpret the word black. You can interpret the word black in many different ways, you know what I'm saying? Us growing up in New York, you know what I'm saying? We grew up in New York, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get specific on where everybody was brought up at, but between the Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island area. When I mean Long Island, I mean a Hempstead, Freeport, Roosevelt area where Public Enemy originated from. You know, I personally grew up with Hank and Chuck and all them before Public Enemy came out. You know, growing up in a community that's majority of, mostly, you know what I'm saying, African Americans, you tend to adapt to a culture, you know what I'm saying? Now you take a look at the hip-hop culture, which is an African American culture, because African Americans started the whole hip-hop culture. But the hip-hop culture is a culture within its own. It's a street culture, all right? Like, for example, let's look at this jam on the album that I wrote called Daddy Called Me Nigga Because I Like to Rhyme. Now, first people would think, since they're already looking at the group as so-called a white group, since white has been stereotyped as Caucasians throughout history, they look at us as a white group, and they using the word Daddy Called Me Nigga, then it doesn't just go from my father being Caucasian calling me a nigga because I'm into a street culture. I have a lot of brothers that I roll with since I was young, that just because they in the same culture, in the same state of mind that I am, their father calls them nigga too. See what I'm saying? It's just the word nigga being used again in a negative way. That's why the word nigga should just be abolished out of vocabulary. See, the young black teenagers isn't 5 Caucasians. We represent a new movement, a race without a color, you know what I'm saying? The hip-hop culture. The hip-hop culture, the youth of today, the youth of hip-hop today are young black teenagers. See what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with a skin color. It's a race without a color.
All right. I comprehend.
Okay, that was hilarious. That the interviewer was just mind blown. Let me tell you something. That made absolutely no sense. Okay, and another thing I wanna address. Everybody wants to say and be a nigga, especially in Halloween. They want to, blackface, minstrel shows, all that stuff. Every racial group wants to be black, but as soon as the police, or AKA the race soldiers, come into town and question you, the people who classified as white and they're victimized by someone black or classified as black, oh, there's no more color, right? They're not colorblind anymore. They know how to point out and say, hey, I know the description of the guy who tried to rob me, or I know the description of the person who resisted arrest. They're black, right? When let me tell you something, when stuff goes real, they know how to colorize themselves and pick someone out of a lineup that's classified as black. So let's not get it twisted, including this guy, Cameron, who's affiliated with this group, Young Black Teenagers. I'm pretty sure you know what a black guy looks like who commits a crime. So let's just stop playing, okay? Let's just stop playing. But this interview was it was mind-blowing, but hilarious at the same time. Made absolutely no sense. He says he wants to abolish the word nigga, but calls his group Young Black Teenagers. That man, this is crazy. That just crazy. But anyway, fast forward to today, 2015 again. You got all kinds of rappers, white rappers classified as white, using the word nigga. You got what you call, and they're obviously, white supremacists, culture vultures also as well. And you got them emulating the culture. You got this rapper called Slim Jesus. Now, I've never heard of him using the word nigga, but a lot of controversy of him, emulating the style of drill music from Chicago, which is, drill music is a whole nother topic of conversation, but stuff like that. But I want to point out a rapper out of Florida called Stitches, another white rapper who uses the word nigga quite often. Like, it rolls off his tongue so naturally. I'm gonna play a clip of this video, just to see how dumb and ignorant he is. Here you go. Okay, yeah, that's all he's gonna get from me, just a couple of seconds. But as you can see, the white supremacist says F nigger, right? But when the race soldiers come into town, okay, when the so-called police officers come into town, and when you gotta testify or you witness a crime around your so-called black friends, you know how to snitch. You know how to describe your best friend as 6'3", black, stocky. You know what color he is. So let's not playing games. And I don't see you using any kind of European racial epithets in your songs. all I see using is the word nigger. Okay, so let's just stop playing. All right, again, the word nigger should be abolished, should not be used. It's a term of corruption. Okay, it's devalued, and I don't use it in my vocabulary. I don't teach my kids to use it. They're never going to use it. And once they, discover this video or learn that particular word on their own, I'm going to just school them on the history of the word. Okay, just like I'm doing in this video. So that's all I wanted to say about that, family. I hope you learn from this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to continue to put out these particular videos on a consistent basis. I'm going to do another one within a week or so to stay more consistent. Please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you share, subscribe, like, and comment below. Let me know what you guys think. All right, family. So once again, Chauncey, aka Karima, GMOGmedia, signing out. Peace.